Coming up next, if nature is letting you down lately, well, how about getting a lift with the help of ultrasound technology? Discover a new non-surgical technique that is changing the face of the beauty industry right after this break. A revolutionary technique is changing the face of the beauty industry. Now imagine a treatment that gives you a facelift without having to go under the knife. Well, that technique uses ultrasound energy to treat the layer beneath the skin, known as the fibromuscular layer, without damaging its structure. Aesthetic doctors using it say the result is a rejuvenated face with reduced lines and wrinkles. Dr. Lo Chai Ling, a physician, and Wolfgang Kramer from Ulthera Inc. join us this morning. Tell us more about this new procedure. Good morning and thanks for joining us. Dr. Lo, let me start off by asking you first. Let's talk a bit about the skin. How do we actually get lines and wrinkles? How does that come about?
Well, the main reason fine lines and wrinkles form is loss of collagen in the skin. As you know, collagen is a building block protein that works with elastin to give the skin firmness and suppleness. So as we age, our supply of collagen diminishes. Factors such as sun exposure, smoking, and genetics, of course, play a part in determining how fast we age.
Okay. Yeah. And Wolfgang, how does ultrasonic technology come in to help fix that problem, so to speak?
Yeah. Well, you know, ultrasound has been used in the medical field for many years, and has been used very safely and very efficaciously. And about 6 years ago in the United States, there was a market study that was conducted that determined that the 5 top applications actually for ultrasound, or more specifically focused ultrasound, are all in the aesthetic field. So Ulthera was founded to take advantage of these great capabilities of ultrasound, first of all the safety, but also the efficacy, and develop the Ulthera device to safely and efficaciously firm and tighten and actually lift the skin.
Okay, so I got to ask you, so how does it actually work? How does this device work?
Well, what is very innovative about this device is the fact that it uses ultrasound in 2 different ways. First of all, for imaging. So the physician actually can see the different layers of the skin and know exactly what layers of the skin to treat. And also in a therapeutic way by focusing the energy into the deeper layers of the skin. And where the focal area is, it causes a thermal effect. And that effect then starts a classic wound healing response of the body, whereby the body generates new collagen. It rearranges existing collagen in a tighter matrix, and that firms the skin, it lifts the skin, and ultimately gives the patient a younger and more fresher appearance.
Right, okay. I'm just holding this is the device here that we saw on screen short while back. I mean, so really what it's doing, it's sort of I don't know, exciting the skin cells in a way to kind of react more and to do something?
That's right. It causes heat. It travels very safely through the superficial layers of the skin, and only at the focal point where all the ultrasound waves meet, it causes a thermal effect. Okay. It causes heat in essence.
So Dr. Lo, how is this different from other treatments out there like IPL or how does this differ?
Well, Ulthera allows a very deep and long-lasting facelifting and skin tightening effect. Other aesthetic treatments, of course, can complement Ulthera, but they are not in the same league. For example, IPL does not have any facelifting effect, but it can be used to lighten superficial pigmentation, such as freckles. Yeah.
So does this mean this ultrasonic technology can be used for anyone?
Well, the great thing about ultrasound is that it's suitable for all skin types, including dark-colored skin, which was not suitable for certain types of laser treatments in the past. At our clinic, we have treated both fair and dark-colored skin with equally good results.
Okay, can you use them together? Can you use this with IPL and Botox with other kinds of treatments out there?
Yes, it's complementary to almost all of the procedures, such as Botox, IPL, laser treatments, and even surgical treatments.
And what about side effects?
Very rare. We see the patients immediately after the treatment, sometimes they see some edema, some mild swelling, which is actually a desirable result. It kind of evens out the wrinkles. Sometimes they see some redness, which typically is gone by the time the patient leaves the clinic. And other side effects are very mild. They're very short-lived. So we haven't seen in over 1,000 procedures, we haven't seen any major.
Well, we have some before and after pictures that we're going to put on screen right now. Maybe you can share with us a bit more about that. These are patients who have tried the ultrasound treatment. Dr. Lo, can you take us through this case, for instance?
So you can see Ulthera causes a skin tightening effect. By doing so, it gives the patients a brow lift, which means it opens up their eyes a little more, making them look refreshed and more youthful. You can see that the position of the eyes are constant while the brows are slightly lifted and the skin around the eyes is certainly tighter. I mean, you have to take into account this is after one session of treatment. It is very rare for any treatment to deliver this sort of results after a single session. We also know that the results continue to improve for 90 days after the procedure. Results are usually long-lasting for up to a year, perhaps more, especially if patients are able to practice good skin habits.
Okay. I mean, for this case, for instance, I see it's around the eyes that really you've seen some of the lines sort of disappear.
Yes.
So it can be used on any part of the face?
Yes, it can be used on any part of the face. Ulthera has been found to be very effective to minimize double chin, as well as to tighten up saggy jowls, which are giveaway signs of aging. And in this photo, you can see that the face is actually more contoured after the treatment. This facial slimming effect seems to be most evident in patients with a lot of saggy skin around the jowl.
So you were saying earlier that usually you see results in one treatment, but most of the time, how many treatments does a person have to go through? How much do they have to go through a full package to really see good results?
Well, most of my patients do only one treatment. In very rare cases, if they are much older or they desire a very enhanced result, they may go for 2 treatments.
And how much would that be?
That would be 7,000 for the face, including the jawline.
Singapore dollars?
Singapore dollars.
7,000 Singapore dollars.
Yeah.
Okay, Wolfgang, let me ask you then, this ultrasound technology, why, I mean, or how did it come about? Why was it decided that it would be suitable for something like that to work in our face?
Well, again, it was mainly based on that study that showed that focused ultrasound can be used very, very effectively in the aesthetic arena. And the ultrasound device was developed as a response to that study to give patients the opportunity with a single treatment to tighten, to firm, and lift the skin.
So how is this compared to a surgical facelift? In terms of the final results, of course, we know there are big differences otherwise.
Right. There's of course, pros and cons with everything. A surgical facelift typically gets more drastic results. But of course, there's cost involved, there's downtime, social and clinical downtime involved. There's also a greater risk involved. Whereas Ulthera is ideal for patients that want a little bit more than just creams and lotions or superficial laser treatments, but are not quite ready for a surgical procedure. So it's right there, that segment that Ulthera is trying to address.
Dr. Lo, just now you said it only lasts for about 90 days. Is that right? So
No,
does that mean...
the results keep improving for 90 days, and then the final result lasts for a year or more.
Okay, so which means after that they should come again. So in a way, does that mean after you stop going to treatment, the skin cells sort of go back to their old lazy self in that sense?
Well, not really. I mean, you know, with the skin, we all continue our natural aging process. So additional treatments will be needed over time to maintain the results. As with all cosmetic procedures, I mean, some patients may choose to schedule the repeat treatments at yearly intervals, others at longer intervals.
So just one last question. So compared to the surgical facelift, which lasts longer? Which has more permanent? I mean, because if you look very practically, people will say, well, if I go every year and I calculate, you know, so...
Well, a surgical facelift lasts longer because obviously you're cutting out some skin, you're really pulling up the underlying structure of the tissue. But we've seen very strong trends away from these drastic surgical procedures towards the more subtle and non-invasive, non-surgical procedures. So, in fact, over the past 10 years, the non-surgical procedures have grown 3 times the rate of surgical procedures. So it's a lot more attractive for patients who, for whatever reasons, do not want to undergo a drastic surgical procedure.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming in, sharing with us. It's been quite interesting to learn more about this technology. And we were just speaking to Dr. Lo Chai Ling and Wolfgang Kramer on the use of ultrasound technology in facial treatments. On that note, we're going to take off for a quick break here on Primetime Morning.